What's going on, music makers? It's your boy Fly Guy J, and I'm back with another video. It's Wavy Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's time to check out another Waves plugin. If you're new to my channel and you're interested in learning more about mixing and mastering and how to use different plugins, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notifications of future videos. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now today I'll be going over one of my favorite Waves delay plugins. This is definitely one of my go-to plugins that I reach for when I start mixing down vocals. I love the versatility and ease of use that you get out of the Hdelay plugin. You can do slapback delays, ping pong delays, filtering such as low pass and high pass. They have a lo-fi button which allows you to emulate the sound of a reduced sample rate. You can do some LFO modulation, and you can also create flanging and phasing effects. I'll pull up a song I produced and mixed called 40 Belows, featuring a dope artist from Rochester, New York that goes by the name 500 Pooh. And I'll show you how I use the Hdelay to emphasize certain phrases during the hook. All right, so on this track, I've actually used a bunch of different delays. I've used quarter note ping pong delay, eighth note ping pong delay. I've used some quarter note tape delays and some eighth note tape delays. But in order to keep this tutorial short and sweet, I'm just going to show you one of the delays that I used on the hook to emphasize certain key phrases. So as you can see here, this is the waveform for the lead vocal during the hook section. And what I've done is I'm sending all of these vocals to this hook bus, which is right below. And on this hook bus, I have a bunch of effects. One of those being this hook quarter note ping pong is how I labeled it. And that bus is here. So I set up an aux track where I'm putting my Hdelay plugin on. So just to give you an idea how to set that up, you could go to an insert, select the bus that you want to send it to. The hook quarter note ping pong is where I have it set up. And then you would use this fader to determine how much of the signal you want to send to the aux bus. And you can see I have my Hdelay plugin loaded up. I also have an auto tune plugin before the delay, which I wanted to use for a creative effect. And I have the R compressor plugin after the delay, which I'm side chaining to my lead vocal to control how loud the delay is. But now let's bypass the compressor. Let's bypass the auto tune. And I'm also sending this delay to a reverb. We'll bypass that as well. This way, the only thing you're hearing is the Hdelay. So you can also see that I'm using some automation to control when the delay is going to take place. If you hit this down arrow, you can see that I'm automating the mute signal on my send to the delay bus. So the delay is taking place every time you see this line hovering toward the top, and then it's muted when the line is down near the bottom. So real quick, I'll play the track from the beginning so you can get a feel for the track. And then we'll dive into the Hdelay plugin. Just another day in the life of a fly guy.
Big 500. Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is gang on the block with my bros. 10 toes, how it goes. You say you want smoke, nigga, let me know. Yeah, I got guns imported straight from Mexico. Yeah, all my bitches love me, they can't let me go.
Now I'll play the track again with just the lead vocal for the hook section soloed so that you can identify when the Hdelay is taking place and how it sounds. Again, every time this line is at the top, the audio is being sent to the Hdelay plugin.
Big 500. Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is gang on the block with my bros. 10 toes, how it goes. You say you want smoke, nigga, let me know. Yeah, I got guns imported straight from Mexico. Yeah, all my bitches love me, they can't.
So you can see I've automated this so that an echo takes place on the tail ends of certain phrases that he says during the hook. And if you listen close, you could hear that echo is bouncing back and forth between the left and the right speaker. That's what we call a ping pong delay. And to enable that on the Hdelay, you simply hit this button in the middle to activate ping pong mode. So if I disable this, you'll hear it'll just be a straight delay dead in the center. Now with ping pong activated, so you can hear it's bouncing back and forth. If I wanted to make this delay last longer, I could change the feedback. Right now I have it set around 20. I could increase this to make that delay last longer. If I have it set to 70, let's take a listen and see how that sounds. So you can see that thing is ringing out over and over and over and over again a really long time. So when you use this Hdelay plugin, you definitely want to adjust this feedback knob and lower it to a point that feels right so that you're not muddying up your mix with all the repeating delays. One thing that I like to do is to automate the feedback so that the delay lasts longer toward the tail end of the hook or the tail end of the song. Or if you have a quiet section and you want that delay to ring out a little longer than normal, you could automate this feedback parameter and make it maybe 20 during the hook. And then when you get to this section, make it go twice as long with a feedback of 40. If I wanted to do that, I would simply go hit this button, click on the feedback, add the automation, click OK. Then I could come over here, Hdelay plugin, feedback parameter, and I could say for this section here toward the end, I want that to go from 20, and let's change that to 48. We'll change this so we're actually sending the audio there. And now you'll hear when we get to the end, that feedback's going to last a lot longer than it does here. And you also see this knob change.
In the shows, yeah, all I know is gang on the block with my bros. 10 toes, how it goes. You say you want smoke, nigga, let me know. Yeah, I got guns imported straight from Mexico. Yeah, all my bitches love me, they can't let me go.
In the middle, you have your timing settings. I like to set up my Pro Tools sessions so that the grid is synced to the BPM, which for this beat was 81 beats per minute. I could manually set the BPM to a different value by choosing BPM, double clicking and typing in the value. So now this is set to 70 BPMs. But again, I like to sync my tempo and my grid to the BPM and then use the host BPM, which is set here at 81. That way my delay is in sync and on tempo. You can change the speed of the delay by using this delay knob. So right now we have it set to a quarter note, but we can make it an eighth note delay, an eighth note double time, eighth note or quarter note triple time, etc. You can do a really fast delay, 1/64th. We can make it slower, do a half note.
Cute, but I know they hold.
An important thing to note is when you're using the Hdelay plugin on an auxiliary track and you're sending signal to it, you always want to make sure you have the wet dry knob set to 100%. And then you'll control the level with the fader. Like I showed you earlier, I'm controlling how much of the signal I'm sending to this plugin with this fader here. If you're using the Hdelay as an insert effect, meaning instead of having it in your send column, you're putting the Hdelay in your insert column, you'd want to use this dry wet knob at a lower value and mix it to taste to blend the original signal with the wet delayed signal. To control the volume of the delay leaving the plugin, you would use this output knob here.
But I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 below. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah,
If you wanted to add some old school analog emulation, you could use these 4 analog settings here to add some grit, add some analog noise, and dirty up your signal. Let's play it back real quick and see if we can hear the difference using these settings.
Yeah. Hey. Bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is know they hoes. Cute, but I know they hoes. Cute, but I know they hoes.
So you can hear by using that 3 analog setting, it definitely added a texture to the delay, dirty it up, and it made it a little grimier sounding. Another thing that I love about the Hdelay plugin is the ability to use high pass and low pass filtering. By using these filtering knobs, you can blend and mix your delay signal in with the song and really help it sit in the mix right. If I didn't use these filters, then my delay signal would be much more present in the mix and it would be fighting with my lead vocal. So as you can see, I use this high pass filter. I set it to about halfway to remove some of the lows from the echo. And then I'm also using this low pass filter to take out some of the highs so that it almost creates like a radio effect. I'll show you what it sounds like before and after. So this is with the filtering.
Cute, but I know they hoes.
Now, if I were to get rid of the filtering, take a listen to the echo.
Cute, but I know they hoes.
Now listen to it back in the mix.
Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know.
Now I'll play it with the filtering turned back on. And listen to how much better this sits in the mix. It pushes the delay back some in the mix so that your lead vocal can stand out.
Big 500. Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is gang on the block with my.
Another cool feature about the Hdelay, which I find myself using a lot, is enabling this lo-fi button right here. And what this does is it emulates the old vintage sound of some delay machines where the delay machine would actually lower your sample rate, which would produce a degraded kind of what we call lo-fi sound. Let's listen back again and I'll bypass and engage this lo-fi parameter. I'll start with the lo-fi button bypassed and then I'll engage it.
Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I.
So hopefully you could hear the difference when I engaged that lo-fi button. It added like a crunchy texture to the delay. Another thing I usually test out when I use this Hdelay plugin is inverting the phase on the delay. You can invert the phase on the left-hand side by clicking this button. Invert the phase on the right-hand side by clicking this button. It's a good thing to play around with. Sometimes you'll notice when you invert the phase, it sounds better. So experiment with engaging the phase buttons and see if you like the way that it affects your delay signal. Another parameter that you could play around with on this Hdelay plugin is the LFO modulation. You can change the depth of the modulation with this knob, and you could change the rate of the modulation with this knob. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is gang.
These are very extreme settings, but you can see how you could create some wacky sounding delays or even just use it a very tiny amount to add a little bit of flavor and sauce up that delay even more. So the last thing I want to show you, which is kind of quirky, but you could use it to make a cool effect, is when you change the delay timing, you'll hear that it creates some interesting artifacts. And what it's doing is it's emulating the tape head on the tape machine, speeding up and slowing down. So you'll hear that emulation in your delay when you play it back. I'll turn the volume up so you can really hear the effect that I'm talking about. And let's play it back.
Yeah. Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 below. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is gang on the block with my bros. 10 talk, ordered straight from Mexico. Yeah, all my bitches love me, they can't let me go.
So you can see as I changed the timing on the delay, you can hear the audio warp. And again, that's emulating the tape head speeding up or slowing down and your audio adjusting in real time to that tempo change. So yeah, this Hdelay plugin is a dope plugin, and it's definitely one of my go-tos, one that I find myself reaching for in about 90% of my mixes. I love the simplicity of the plugin. I love using the low pass and high pass filtering. I love the ping pong feature, the lo-fi button, and I even find myself adding in just a smidget of modulation sometimes, just to give that delay a little touch of character and help it stand out in the mix a little bit more. If you don't own this Hdelay plugin, I highly advise you guys go cop it. Trust me, you'll find yourself using this a lot and you won't be disappointed. If you guys want to hear the full version of this song, which is called 40 Belows featuring 500 Pooh, I'll leave a link in the description where you guys can go ahead and download or stream that song. If you guys enjoyed the tutorial video or you learned something new, hit that thumbs up, drop a comment, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notifications of future videos. If there's other Waves plugins you want me to review in future Wavy Wednesday episodes, drop a comment and let me know which plugins you're interested in learning more about. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, and keep grinding. I'm out.
Hey, bitches think they cute, but I know they hoes. Yeah, pistol in my boot, these 40 belows. Yeah, when I hit the stage, I'm rocking the shows. Yeah, all I know is gang on the block with my bros. 10 toes, how it goes. You say you want smoke, nigga, let me know. Yeah, I got guns imported straight from Mexico. Yeah, all my bitches love me, they can't let me go. I feel like Kawhi in the 6 with my woes. Yeah, west side, I'm on